Hi guys, we are from Make It, an IT startup oriented towards nation and generation empowerment. And today I would like to tell you a very beautiful and important concept in programming languages called sequence selection and iteration. Yeah, sequence selection and iteration, all these are combinedly called as a control structures, which is the heart of any programming language. And let's dive into this and let's watch what's there in it and what is the relevance of it. Okay, let us understand what's in that. Yeah, if you have a look at sequence is something like execution of the statements in a program one after the other. Like I have to begin with 1 and then I will be going on up to 2 and then to 3 and then to 4, and likewise it will be going on till the end. Likewise it will be executing all the statements of my program. Like if you have a look at this, yeah, I got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? Yeah, this is how the sequential execution will happen. uh, just it's something like if you take any general program, a normal program, yeah, it is going to follow the sequential execution of the program. And coming to the other one, selection, as the name implies, it is going to execute the statements selectively. How it is going to do that selection means it's based upon a condition. Let me tell you with an example that I have begun with step 1 and I am going to step 2 and step 3, step 4, and at step number 5 I got a condition which can be evaluated to either true or false. Yeah, here in programming language a condition is an assertion that can be evaluated to either true or false but not both. If the condition is true, then 6 7 will be executed, and if the condition is false, then 8 9 will be executed. What is the meaning of it? At any time I am not going to get these 4 statements that will be executed. Either the first part will be executed whenever the condition is evaluated to true, or the second part will get executed whenever the condition is evaluated to false, and finally it will be ending with 10. The same I have presented with the help of a diagram that from 1 to 5 the execution is sequential, and at the fifth statement I got a condition, and if the condition is true, 6 7 will be run, and then the control goes to 10th statement. 8 9 will be skipped here. In the same fashion, if the condition is false at the fifth statement, then 8 9 will be run, and then it goes to 10th statement. Yeah, what I am trying to say here is either I will be getting this path if the condition is true, or I will be getting this path if the condition is false, and at any time these both the things are not going to get executed, either this or that. That is about selection. Selection is also called as decision making statements. Again, these selection statements are classified into conditional jumps, unconditional jumps. Yeah, I will discuss all such later in one of my coming slides. And as of now, this is selection. Selection means it is execution of a statement based upon the condition. And coming to iteration or repetition, this is another way of executing the code, that the statements from 1 to 4, they have been run in sequence, and at fifth statement I got a condition. If it is true, then 6 7 8 statements will be run for one time, and from 8th statement the control will be returned back to 5th statement again, and again the condition will be checked. If it is true for one more time, then this will be run for one more time. 6 7 8 will be executed for second time, and after executing that, again the control is moving to 5th statement. Again the condition is checked. If it is true for one more time, then the statement 6 7 8 will be run for one more time, and again the control will go to 5th statement. And now if the condition is evaluated to false, what happens means from this 5th statement directly the control will jump to ninth statement, and then it will be ending with 10th statement. That is how it is going to work. And here I have mentioned certain probabilities here, like from 1 to 5 I got a sequential execution, and here 6, 7, 8 are executed twice. 2 times they have got executed, which means the loop is evaluated for 2 times, or the condition at the 5th statement is true for 2 times, and for the 3rd iteration or repetition it has become false. Whenever it is false, then the control will move to 9th statement, and then it will execute 10th one. That is how it is going to work. And in the same fashion, if I have a look at the second probability or the second possibility, here 6, 7, 8 is run for 1 time and second time, and it continues like that, which means these statements will go on executing themselves. Yeah, whenever there is a such case, then I am going to call that one as infinite loop. What is infinite loop? Infinite loop is a loop where the statements will get executed for infinite number of times, and whenever there is an infinite loop, then this path will not be executed. Why? Because as these 6, 7, 8 statements will be run forever, the control never comes to this point, so this line cannot exist. And whenever the condition, I am talking about the other possibility, whenever the condition is false at the first time itself, or whenever the control is reaching this 5th statement, whenever the condition becomes false, then directly it will make a jump to 9th statement, and then the control ends. Which means the condition is evaluated to false for its first time evaluation. This is about the control structures that is linked with any programming language. It's there in C, it's there in C++, it's there in Java, it's there in Python, or if you take any programming language, these control structures are heart of the programming language. Any programming language has to must and should take care of it, and it is one such a topic in a programming language where it is the heart. And trust me guys, if you are confident enough in understanding and implementing these control structures, then almost you have learned the core of the programming language. Then the remaining things are just they are piece of cakes where you can grab them very comfortably and you can understand them. That is the importance of control structures, and basically they are of 3 types. One is sequence, other one is selection, and the third one is iteration or repetition. Coming to the next slide. What are the several statements available as a part of selection? As I told you already, selection statements are also called as decision making statements in C programming language or C++ or even Java. I can take either one, I can take any one. There are 5 statements available, like I got a simple if statement, or I can call simply if, or if else, or nested if, or else if ladder, or switch case. A simple if something like it is going to deal with only true case, and the problem with this simple if is it is not going to dealt with, or it is not going to deal with false case. Whereas if I have a look at if else statement, it is a two-way decision making statement where it is going to deal with both true case as well as false case. Both the things are done. And coming to nested if an if statement is placed inside another if, then I am going to call them as nested. Nested means if inside another if. And else if ladder and switch case, these both are called as multi-way decision making statements, as they are going to deal with multiple decisions. Anyhow, I will be discussing about all these things one after the other in detail, in syntactic wise, and I am going to represent a flowchart representing them, and I am going for a practical implementation of these things using the C programming language. And these 5 statements are called as conditional jump statements because the control is completely dependent on a condition. Condition is also sometimes called as decision. That's why they have been called as decision making statements also. Coming to the iteration or repetition. If you have a look at the iteration or repetition in C programming language, it is a concept of executing some certain number of statements for some times. Again, it's all based upon the condition, and in C programming language, we have the concepts of while loop, do while loop, and for loop. All these three are connected with iteration or repetition. They are also simply called as loops. Looping mechanism means repetition mechanism or executing some set of statements for some specified number of times, and that too it is dependent on the condition. And yeah, I will talk about these things in later, that while loop is an entry controlled loop because the condition will be checked when I am entering the loop, whereas do while is an exit control loop because the condition will be evaluated whenever I am leaving the loop. And for loop is also entry controlled, that I will discuss very clearly. I am going to discuss all such in one of my previous slides or the next coming videos. I am going to give you a detailed explanation of these things. Why? Because these are very important. And let me have a look into these decision making statements first of all, and then I will be covering the things connected with it one after the other slowly and steadily with a detailed explanation. And there is one more concept called unconditional jump statements. Yeah, generally the conditional statements are divided into two types. One is conditional based and other one is unconditional based. Yeah, what I am trying to say here is generally the decision making statements are divided into two types: conditional, unconditional. For conditional jump statements, a condition is taken as a primary criteria for making the control to be transferred or not. But if I have a look at unconditional jump statements, it is not going to take any condition directly, it can make a jump. Of course, it will be also they also will be used in combination with some conditional statements. But yeah, I will tell you with examples so that these things will be clear for you. And okay, now I am going to talk about the decision making statements. As I told you already, there are 5 decision making statements available in C programming language. They are simple if else, nested if, else if ladder, and switch case. These are the 5 decision making statements available. Okay, let me start our discussion with the simple if. Yeah, if you have a look at the simple if, yeah, this is the syntax of it. If and here I require a condition. What is this condition? For example, if I have to check whether a number is positive, then I have to write whenever the given number, let me say n is greater than 0. Whenever n value is greater than 0, then it is nothing but positive. Or if I want to say that if a number is even or odd, then what I have to do? Then I have to take this n and I have to divide that number with 2. Okay, this is a percentage symbol. Okay, this is the percentage symbol, and whenever the number is divided by 2, if the remainder is equal to 0, then I can declare the given number is a even number. Or whenever if I have to check a person is eligible for voting or not, then what I have to do? I have to take the age of that person who is at a polling booth or a criteria for checking this. Then they are going to check the age of that person. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, then he is eligible for voting. Yeah, likewise, I can check whether the particular person is eligible for marriage whenever the age of the boy, when it exceeds 21, or if I take a girl, then the age of that girl should exceed 18. Yeah, likewise, I can take plenty of real-time examples so as to explain this simple if. And the only drawback with this one is it is going to deal with only true case. Yeah, it's something like whenever this condition is true, then these statements will be executed, and whenever this condition is false, then nothing will be executed. Simply the control comes to this point of my program and it continues. That is what is going to happen. And the same I have represented with the help of a flowchart. What is that? Here test expression is nothing but my condition. Whenever it is true, then this is called my for body, if body, sorry. This is called my body of the decision making statement or body of the if. I have to call something like that. Whenever this condition is evaluated to true, then this will be executed, and whenever it is false, directly it will be coming to this portion. Okay, that is how it is going to run. Now coming to an example, if n is greater than 0, then I am going to call, or then I am going to print something like positive. Or in the same fashion, if I keep something like if n mod 2 is equal to 0, then I can say printf even. Or if age is greater than 18, then I am going to say eligible for voting. Yeah, likewise I can have all these conditions here. And coming to queries or the questions that are linked with this simple if, can I have an empty parenthesis like this? Can I have an empty condition? That I will check practically, and I will show you whether it is going to accept it or not. Yeah, it's not valid. I should have some value here. And the other one, whenever I place some 10, yeah, it's an integer value, right? How it is going to deal with that? That is the second possibility I need to check practically. And the third one is how it is going to deal if the statement is ending with a semicolon. How it is going to deal with that case. That is the third. These are the three things I am going to tell you practically, and along with, if possible, some more examples that are linked with it. And yeah, as far as myself is concerned, I will be discussing these things in detail to my knowledge, and if it is anything messy or ambiguous or confusing, let me know, such that I will clarify all your doubts in the comment section. If not, I'm going to do altogether a new video which explains the doubts that you have mentioned in the comment section. Okay, and there is an exercise also which I am going to discuss. That exercise is write a C program to print hello on the screen, but I am not supposed to use a semicolon here. Without using any semicolon, I have to print hello on the screen. That is the next exercise I am talking about. And there is one more thing called if else statement. Yeah, if else is talking about a two-way decision making statement. Yeah, before getting into that if else, first of all, let me check this simple if. Okay, for that I have downloaded some software called Developer C++. 5.11 is the version. Yeah, you just type this in the Google, you are going to get that software, yeah, such that you can use. And yeah, I am increasing the size of the font such that it will be clear to us. And here I am going to type something here for explaining the concept of simple if, like declare a variable n. Yeah, I have taken a variable n, and after that I am requesting the user to enter an integer, and a backslash n I am using here, and scanf %d comma address of n. Okay, then I am writing something like if n greater than 0, then I am printing the statement called printf positive. I am writing something like positive and a semicolon. Okay, it should be at the end, right? Semicolon and printf. Yeah, this is a statement outside if. Yeah, for getting some clarity, I have executed this. Yeah, what I am trying to say here, a variable n has been declared, and this is my printf statement which is requesting to enter an integer. Then I am reading the value for n, and whenever the value of n is greater than 0, then it is going to print a positive, and whenever this one is failed, then nothing will be executed. Directly it will come to the statement outside the if. What is the statement outside the if? It's a printf. And here I didn't use any curly braces. If you observe, these curly braces I have skipped them, right? Because if the statements contain, if the body contains a single statement, then braces can be made optional or braces can be simply dropped. That's why I have not taken a curly braces. They are purely optional. I will show you practically whether they are optional or not. Let me remove that in my later executions. As of now, let me run it and check whether it is going to find it as positive or not based upon the value of n. For running the code, there is a thing called compile and run. It is asking me to enter an integer. Let me give 12 as the input and positive, but here I got both the output in the single line because here I don't have a new line character. Okay, let me save the code and let me run this for one more time, and let me give some value called 100, and 100 is positive and outside if. And if I give some value like a negative value, let me say minus 1 2 3 4, this is the input I have given, and check, positive is not printed, which means the condition is false, and outside if, as usual, it will be run as it is a part of selection. And even if I give a 0, then also positive will not get printed because 0 greater than 0 is false. That's why this is how the logic is going to work. And let me do some modifications to it such that to understand the concept of if, I will be going for the next modification. The first one is, as the body of if contains a single statement, can I make the braces to become optional? I am removing it, delete, okay, backspace, and I am removing this also, and I will be going for printf in the next line. Let me use some tab for indentation. Indentation means proper spacing. If I have to tell the standards that should be followed for writing a good program, then indentation or proper usage of spaces is highly recommended. Okay, and now let me run this. Let me check whether it is working or not. Compile and run. It's working fine. It's working fine. Positive, yeah, it is positive outside if. And then, yeah, can I make this condition to become absolutely empty? Yeah, that is the next one. Yeah, if I make like this, then how it is going to run? Execute that, compile. I got an error. What is that error is? If statement certainly expects some expression or value that should be present in it. Okay, if statement cannot be used with empty parenthesis, it is expecting a value or expression should be present in that. That is required, right? So I cannot have an empty parenthesis. Okay, this is the first one. And the drawback with this simple if is, it is going to handle only true case and it is not going to deal with the false case, that we can observe. And yeah, let me get back to the PPT and let me have a look at the queries what I have asked there. Okay. Yeah, what is the meaning of this 10? Okay, in C programming language, any non-zero in the sense, if it is a positive value or if it is a greater than 0 or a negative value, even though if it is negative value also, then it is going to consider that non-zero value as true case. The value could be either positive or negative and the value will be taken as a true case. And if it is a 0, then it will be taken as a false one. Then it is taken as a false one. Okay, that is the meaning of it. Yeah, what I am trying to say here is, let me show that one practically. Yeah, if I mention if 10, then as it is a non-zero value, then the loop will be taken as if true, if the condition is true or the condition is true. So what happens means, then positive will be printed irrespective of the value of n. Why? Because here I have not used any expression or any a relational operator connected with n. Directly I have mentioned some literal means value. Okay, I have mentioned here 10. So the output is positive. Yeah, let's watch. It will be run for sure. Compile and run. And it is asking me to enter some value for n. I am giving some 786, some value. And the output is positive. And you give whatever the value. Okay, as I have mentioned, okay, let me close this. As I have mentioned, a 10 here, a 10 is, as a 10 is a non-zero value, it will be taken always as true. Even if I take a negative value, minus 10, and let me save, and if I run it, in this case also, it is taken as a true case. Okay, why? Because a non-zero value, the non-zero value in C programming language could be either positive or negative, and it shouldn't be a zero. That's it. And whenever I make this one as a 0, then it is false. An absolute zero value inside my if statement will be taken as false. And if I run the code, then positive will not be printed. You can see that. Okay, let me give some value as 56. Positive will not be printed because 0 is taken as false case. Yeah, what is the takeaway from this program is, in C programming language, a non-zero, whether that is positive or negative, will be generally considered as a true case, and an absolute zero value will be taken as a false case. That is one point where you have to remember. And as I told you already, the drawback with the simple if is, it is going to handle only true state and it is not going to handle the false case. If I want to make it to handle false also, then I have to go for if else. Okay, if condition is true, execute statement 1, and if the condition is false or else, execute statement 2. That is what I need to mention. Okay, and that is what I have explained, and yeah, and I will be talking in a while that what is the output if the if statement ends with a semicolon. That I will do it later. Okay, before that, let me dive into the PPT and let me talk about the if else. Okay, yeah, what is if else? It is something like a two-way decision making statement. What is a two-way decision making statement? It is going to deal with both true case. This is the part connected with true case, and this is the part connected with false case. Yeah, what I am trying to say, if the condition is true, execute this, and if the condition is false, execute this part. Or if the condition is true, execute statements one block. Yeah, the one that was represented with a pair of curly braces. Okay, then they are called block of code or block of statements. Okay, if the condition is evaluated to true, block 1 will be executed and block 2 will be executed otherwise in the sense when the condition is evaluated to false. As it is dealing with both the cases, it is called as a two-way decision making statement. Just like our electric switch, whenever it is turned on, it is called as a true case, and whenever it is turned off, it is called as a false case. Yeah, that is how I can understand the functionality of this if else. Examples. Yeah, here I have taken to check whether a given number is even or odd. Whenever a number is divided by 2 and whenever the remainder is equal to 0, then it is called even. And whenever a number is divided by 2 and the remainder is a non-zero means here generally I will be getting 1. Whenever it is 1, then I am going to print odd. As it is going to deal with both the true case, here it is dealing with the true case, and this part is connected with false case, it is called as a two-way decision making statement. Yeah, here I got voting and here I got marriage eligibility. There are certain other things. There are plenty of things connected with it. And here I have given some exercise also, that is write a C program to check whether a given number is a positive or negative or 0 and how it could be done or what is the other modification I have to do. Yeah, I will be explaining all these in a while. And yeah, that's all about the presentation, and let me get into the technical things connected with it. or simply the technicalities. Okay, let me take the same, and my first problem is something like write a program to check whether a given number is even or odd. It's very simple. Watch. If n percentage 2 is equal to 0, then it is even. Okay, and I am going to write something like else printf odd. Okay, and as usual, the executable statement in a C programming language should end with a semicolon. And let me save the code and let me run the code, compile and run. Okay, the input is 12. Yeah, it is even. And let me run the code for one more time, and the input is 13 and the output is odd. Yeah, it is going to work with both the cases. As it is going to deal with both the true and false case, it is called as a two-way decision making statement. Whenever the condition is true, this will be executed, and whenever the condition is false, this will be executed. And in the same fashion, yeah, I can deal with whether a number is a positive or negative. That is another thing. Okay, let me give a try. If n greater than 0, then I am going to say, okay, positive, else I am going to say something called negative. Okay, if n is greater than 0, positive, otherwise negative. Yeah, let me run this code, compile and run, and the integer is minus 99. Okay, minus 99, and it is a negative value. And if I run the code for one more time, okay, if the input is 123, then it is a positive value. Yeah, that's how it is going to work generally. Okay, and if I have a look at this program, it is dealing with only two cases, but if I have to speak very strictly, there are three possibilities. What are they? If it is greater than 0, positive, if it is less than 0, negative, and if it is absolutely 0, then it is a 0 value. Here I am going to get three possibilities in practical. So I am modifying the same if else slightly, that else if n less than 0, then it is negative. And coming to the next else part, then I am writing printf 0. Yeah, this is what I have written. Now it is going to deal with three cases. Yeah, here it is the syntactical part. If is going to work with the true case, else if is going to work with the other possibility, and the final else is going to work whenever this if is false and this else if is also false. So what is the meaning of when this if is false, the number is not greater than 0, and whenever this else if is also false, then it is something like n is less than 0, n is not less than 0, it is neither greater than 0 nor less than 0, then the only option left is it should be equal to 0, right? That is how we can deal with it. I think I have explained you what I am trying to explain here is about the simple if and if else case of the decision making statements in a programming language. And there is one more point left here. Yeah, let me give a try that. Let me remove these things. Yeah, I am talking about the starting one, that is simple if. And what happens whenever this if ends with a semicolon? Yeah, if I got a semicolon at the end of the if, then how it is going to react with that? Yeah, let me run it first of all, and then I will explain you what is the logic. Okay, here enter an integer. I have given 23. 23 is positive, perfectly it is running, and let me give a negative value now, minus 23. For minus 23 also it is printing positive, which is absolutely wrong, right? Because here the point what you have to understand is, if statement is having a semicolon, and you have to understand something like this. Okay, what is this? As I don't have curly braces, there is only one statement that is there with if, and that statement is just the semicolon. A just semicolon in a programming language is called as a dummy statement or null statement or empty statement, which doesn't have any impact whenever it has got executed. That is the meaning of it. And this printf is now belonging to the program and not to the if. That's why it is no way connected to if now. And the only thing that is connected to if is this semicolon. That is what you should understand whenever it is ending with a semicolon. Hope I have answered all the queries that are connected with the PowerPoint presentation what I have done. And there is one more interesting point, that without a semicolon, I have to print hello on the monitor, right? How it should be done? That is the next query. Yeah, for that let me remove all these things. Yeah, if you observe, there is no semicolon here, right? And I'm writing something like if printf of hello, then I'm going to write a pair of curly braces. This is what I have written here, and let me save the code and let me run it. Hello is printed without a semicolon. Hope this is also clear to you. And what is the meaning of it? What's happening here? It's very simple. Whenever printf is run, it is going to return a value that is exactly equivalent to the number of characters successfully printed. How many characters are there here? 5. So this complete printf statement will be replaced with the value 5. Then what I can say here? Yeah, I can say something like if 5. As you already know, as 5 is a non-zero value, it will be taken as true. And whenever, if I have a look at this, whenever it is executed, it is going to print hello on the monitor. This is one such logic to print hello on the monitor without using a semicolon. You can observe I haven't used any semicolon here. Yeah, if you have any other logic which is connected to the same, and please do mention in the comment section. And if you have any queries, please do mention them also. And yeah, if you have any such interesting questions like this which were quite asked in interviews, and do it in the comment section. And if you have any queries, please be at your liberty in posting them in the comment section. And as far as this presentation or video is concerned, this is all about myself, and I am signing off. Have a good day. See you in the next video. Bye.